Deep in South America's forgotten corner, where emerald rivers slice through ancient jungle and thunder rolls off the Caiatur Falls like a heartbeat, Guyana hides a secret most people never see. Here, color doesn't just exist, it erupts. Scarlet, turquoise, gold, feathers glowing like they were painted by lightning. It's a land where eagles hunt monkeys, manakins moonwalk for love, and parrots debate louder than politicians. More than 800 bird species call this wild frontier home, a crossroads between the Caribbean, the Amazon, and pure imagination. Some shimmer like gemstones, others look prehistoric, and a few are just so weird you'll question evolution's sense of humor. But that's the beauty of Guyana. It doesn't fit into neat categories. It's wild, raw, and unapologetically alive. So today we dive deep into the green frontier, through roaring rivers, crimson skies, and whispering forests, to meet 20 birds that prove the wild still has surprises left. And here's the question. In a world tamed by maps and machines, can anything this untamed still exist? They call it the Harpy Eagle, but honestly, feathered nightmare might be more accurate. This is Guyana's apex predator, a bird so powerful it makes hawks look like house pets. 3.5 feet tall, wings wider than a grown man's reach, and talons the size of a grizzly bear's claws. Yeah, this thing could bench press your dog. It doesn't soar above the jungle, it stalks it. Harpy eagles don't chase, they wait. They sit motionless for hours on a massive tree branch, eyes locked on movement, and then, boom, they drop like a falling anvil through the canopy. One strike, one scream, one less monkey. That's right, monkeys and sloths are its favorite snacks. It rips through the treetops so fast that prey never even sees what killed it. No mercy, no second chances, just physics and fury with feathers. Here's a fun fact. When you see those soft, owl-like facial feathers, they're not for show. They actually funnel sound to the eagle's ears, making it a stealth hunter and a sound engineer. Evolution's overachiever, basically. Locals call it the spirit of the forest. To spot one in the wild is rare. To hear its screech echo through the jungle mist, that's like nature announcing, you are not the top of the food chain. And yet, for all that terror, the Harpy Eagle mates for life. A devoted parent, gentle in the nest, raising one chick every 2 years like it's raising royalty. Even apex predators have soft sides. Just don't get too close. So what do you think? The ultimate hunter or just nature's heavy metal mascot? Because this bird doesn't need stealth bombers or laser eyes. It already owns the skies. The Harpy Eagle, majestic, merciless, and proof that sometimes the most terrifying things in the jungle are also the most beautiful. If the Harpy Eagle is Guyana's king, then this bird is definitely the drama queen. Meet the Guianan Cock-of-the-Rock, a creature so bright, so bizarre, you'd think evolution took a dare and said, sure, let's make a pumpkin that flies. That neon orange plumage isn't edited, it's real. Loud, unapologetic, and so vibrant it makes tropical flowers look like they're still loading in HD. Even its head looks like modern art. A half-moon crest that hides its beak completely, like a feathery helmet designed by an avant-garde fashion house. You'll find this bird in the deep, shadowy canyons and forests of Guyana, where every morning turns into a talent show. Dozens of males gather in a lek, each trying to outshine the others with fancy hops, flips and noises that sound like a car alarm having a nervous breakdown. It's not just dancing, it's theater. Feathers puffed, wings flashing, they strut and bow like feathered flamenco dancers performing for an audience of exactly one. A single, very unimpressed female who will eventually pick a winner and vanish without applause. Here's a fun fact. Those bright orange feathers aren't just for looks. They actually glow under UV light. To a human, it's beautiful. To another bird, it's basically a neon sign screaming, "Pick me!" Despite all the spectacle, the cock-of-the-rock lives quietly the rest of the time, nesting on rocky cliffs and staying out of sight. The males do the show, the females do the work. Classic jungle gender politics, And when sunlight cuts through the canopy and hits that electric plumage just right, it's not a bird anymore. It's a living flame. So what do you think? Nature's most fabulous performer, or just a walking traffic cone with good PR? Because one thing's for sure, subtlety didn't make it into this bird's vocabulary. The Guianan Cock-of-the-Rock, part show, part spectacle, and proof that sometimes the best way to survive the jungle is to be impossible to ignore. Now that the jungle's daytime fashion show is over, let's turn the lights down. Because when night falls in Guyana, something strange wakes up. Meet the great potoo, a bird that looks like a ghost, sounds like a lost soul, and perches so still you'll swear it's part of the tree. Seriously, if Mother Nature had a sense of humor, this is where she used it. With its huge round eyes, wide frog-like mouth, and feathers patterned like dead wood, the potoo doesn't hide. It pretends to be invisible. By day, it stands motionless on a branch, eyes half closed, body stiff, like a broken statue someone forgot to carve properly. Then at night, it becomes something else. It opens those enormous yellow eyes and lets out a haunting, quivering call that echoes across the forest like a ghost crying in slow motion. Locals used to believe it was the voice of wandering spirits. And honestly, can you blame them? Here's a fun fact. Potoos don't build nests. They just lay their eggs directly on a branch. No twigs, no leaves, nothing. And somehow it works. A single egg, perfectly balanced, surviving storms and predators. It's part insanity, part genius. The jungle's minimalist parenting plan. Their diet? Pure nightmare fuel. They hunt giant moths, beetles, even bats that fly too close. And they do it all without moving a muscle until the last second. Blink and you'll miss the strike. The great potoo isn't scary because it tries to be. It's scary because it doesn't care. It just is. And that eerie calm, that motionless stare, it's the kind of thing that makes you question whether you're awake. So what do you think? Forest ghost or just evolution's weirdest sense of humor? Because if the jungle had a jump scare, this bird would be it. The great potoo, haunting, hilarious, and proof that in Guyana's green frontier, even silence has teeth. After the jungle ghosts and midnight whispers, let's bring back some sunlight and a bit of sparkle while we're at it. Meet the Rufous-tailed jacamar, the bird that looks like a metallic arrow and behaves like it knows it's beautiful. If tropical elegance had a mascot, this would be it. Slender body, shimmering green back, rusty orange belly, and that impossibly long needle bill. It's like someone fused a hummingbird with a fencing sword and gave it a mirror finish. You'll find it perched along riverbanks and forest edges in Guyana, always perfectly posed, never rushed, never messy. It waits in silence, eyes locked on a flying insect. Then, zip! A flash of color, a quick snap, and lunch is served midair. No drama, no wasted motion, just style and precision. Here's a fun fact. Jacamars are close relatives of kingfishers, but instead of diving for fish, they hunt insects on the wing. Dragonflies, butterflies, even bees. They catch them with surgical accuracy, then slam them against a branch to remove the stinger. Nature's version of food prep. Their metallic sheen isn't pigment, by the way. It's microscopic feather structure, bending light. So yeah, it's not wearing color, it's literally manipulating physics for fashion. Call that high-tech couture. And while other birds argue, the jacamar just sits there, glowing quietly like it knows something you don't. It's not loud, it's not desperate, it's just cool. So what do you think? Guyana's most stylish assassin, or just a living jewel that got bored of being admired? Because in a world full of chaos, this bird hunts with calm and kills with grace. The Rufous-tailed jacamar, sleek, serene, and proof that in the jungle, sometimes the deadliest hunters are also the most beautiful. If the jacamar is Guyana's model of elegance, then this next bird is the diva who shows up fashionably late and makes everyone else look underdressed. Meet the royal flycatcher, a small, ordinary-looking bird, until it decides not to be. Most of the time, it's modest, beige, quiet, unassuming. You'd probably walk right past it thinking, oh, cute little bird. But then out of nowhere, boom! It fans open one of the most outrageous crowns in the entire animal kingdom. A blazing red-orange crest lined with electric blue tips, like a firework frozen mid-explosion. It doesn't just raise it, it flips it forward like a showman's flourish, turning an average head into a carnival. It's not called royal for nothing. Here's a fun fact. That crown display isn't for defense or flight, it's for flirting. Males raise it during courtship, like nature's version of saying, "You up?" And apparently it works, because who could say no to a headpiece that dramatic? You'll find them in Guyana's lowland forests, hanging out near rivers and shaded trails, catching insects midair with quick, acrobatic flicks. They're nimble, confident, and when they land, they strike a pose like they know the camera's rolling. Scientists still don't fully understand why it evolved that ridiculous crest. It's fragile, heavy, impractical. But then again, so are most fashion statements. Maybe it's not about survival, maybe it's about being unforgettable. And that's what makes this bird special. It's proof that nature doesn't always choose logic. Sometimes it chooses flair. So what do you think? A royal mistake that somehow worked out, or the most successful catwalk model in the jungle? Because when the royal flycatcher opens that crown, even the Harpy Eagle would stop to stare. The royal flycatcher, humble, hidden, and one heartbeat away from fabulous. If the royal flycatcher brought the crown, this guy brought the dance floor. Meet the wire-tailed manakin, the bird that treats mating season like a talent competition. Tiny, round, and absurdly bright, it's dressed in red, yellow, and jet black, with two long, thread-thin wires trailing from its tail, like built-in streamers for the world's tiniest party. And when this bird starts to move, you'd swear you were watching a music video filmed in slow motion. Wire-tailed mannequins don't just flirt, they choreograph. They form dance troupes of up to 4 males, practicing synchronized routines for weeks, just to impress one female who will judge silently from a nearby branch. Talk about pressure. They hop, slide, buzz, and flip, sometimes zipping backward in midair like feathered Michael Jacksons. It's rhythmic, ridiculous, and somehow still graceful. Here's a fun fact. Scientists found that males who cooperate in these dances don't even get equal credit. Usually only the alpha dancer gets the girl. The rest are backup dancers, rehearsing evolution's cruelest lesson. Sometimes teamwork is just unpaid labor. But that's the thing about the wire-tailed mannequin. It doesn't seem to care. Even the losers keep dancing, because in this jungle, movement is survival, energy, rhythm, and showmanship. That's how you get noticed in a forest of 800 species. And let's be honest, with a costume that bright and tail wires that shimmer in sunlight, this bird was born to perform. No camouflage, no subtlety, just pure tropical confidence. So what do you think? The most stylish dancer in the animal kingdom? Or just a hyperactive show-off with great hair? Because either way, when it hits that perfect midair spin, you realize this bird isn't trying to impress anyone. It's just doing what it loves. The wire-tailed manakin, proof that even in the heart of the jungle, the spotlight always finds the one who never stops moving. After all that dancing, it's time to cool off. And who better to bring the breeze than the blue dacnis? A bird that looks like it was carved straight out of the Caribbean sky. Seriously, this little tanager doesn't just wear blue, it defines it. Turquoise body, sapphire wings, and a black mask that gives it the attitude of a tiny superhero who's permanently on vacation. You'll find them high in the forest canopy of Guyana, gliding through shafts of sunlight, moving in flocks that shimmer like bits of ocean drifting through the trees. No drama, no noise, just color and calm. But don't let that chill vibe fool you. These birds are lightning in disguise. They dart from branch to branch, snatching insects in midair with the precision of a blue bullet. One blink and they're gone. Here's a fun fact. Male blue dacnis are this brilliant shade of turquoise, but females are soft green, which means every couple looks like a tiny patch of tropical sea-meeting jungle. It's not just beautiful, It's symbolic. Together, they are Guyana's colors. They feed mostly on fruit and nectar, often raiding flowering trees side by side with hummingbirds and honeycreepers. No competition, just an unspoken understanding. There's enough sweetness for everyone. And when the rain hits, their feathers darken, glowing deep cobalt under gray skies, like the storm decided to dress them up instead of wash them out. So what do you think? The most peaceful soul in the jungle, or just the prettiest workaholic with wings? Because while others scream for attention, this bird just shows up, shines, and lets the light do the talking. The blue dacnis, cool, effortless, and proof that in a world full of noise, sometimes the most beautiful thing you can do is fly quietly through it. If the blue dacnis was the ocean sky, then this next bird is the rainforest itself turned into a jewel. Meet the green honeycreeper, the bird that makes emerald feel underdressed. It's small, sleek, and so vivid you'd swear it glows from the inside out. Males shimmer in metallic green with a jet black mask and coral red bill, like a superhero caught halfway between Fashion Week and a sugar rush. And honestly, it works. You'll spot them in the canopy of Guyana's forests, darting between bright blossoms, feeding on fruit and nectar like little thieves of sweetness. They're never alone, usually moving in mixed flocks with tanagers, hummingbirds, and honeycreepers of every shade. It's like the jungle's color palette came to life. Here's a fun fact. The honeycreeper name is a bit of a scam. They don't actually eat much honey. They just raid flowers for nectar and fruit pulp, wiping the leftovers off their beaks like messy toddlers. But hey, branding is everything. The green honeycreeper's feathers are a marvel of light physics. Their glow doesn't come from pigment, but from microscopic structures that bend light into pure green fire. Under sunlight, they shift from emerald to turquoise, depending on the angle. Basically, they come with built-in color grading. And while they look fancy, these birds have zero patience for nonsense. Males will chase rivals off their feeding branches, bursting through foliage like tiny green torpedoes. Cute? Sure. Peaceful? Not a chance. But that's what makes them irresistible. They're proof that beauty doesn't have to be delicate. It can be fierce, fast, and a little bit feisty. So what do you think? The most elegant troublemaker in the forest, or just the rainforest's way of showing off? Because whatever it is, this bird doesn't blend in, it defines green. The green honeycreeper, vivid, vain, and violently beautiful. Proof that in Guyana's jungle, even sweetness comes with attitude. If the green honeycreeper was a burst of emerald light, then this one is the deep breath that follows. Dark, smooth, and quietly intense. Meet the silver-beaked tanager, a bird that looks like it belongs in a glass of fine wine. Its plumage is a deep velvet crimson, so dark it almost swallows light. And that beak, polished silver, gleaming like moonlight on metal. The perfect contrast, the perfect mystery. You'll find them along the forest edges and rivers of Guyana, moving in pairs, always elegant, like they're walking through their own private dinner scene. While other birds are loud and showy, this one's energy is pure slow jazz. Here's a fun fact, that silver on the beak isn't pigment, it's reflection. The keratin surface catches light so precisely that the beak flashes white, as if the bird were tipping its hat with a glint. Style points, maximum. Their call is soft, a low rolling chip-chip that barely cuts through the canopy. But when males gather during breeding season, they perform quiet duets with their partners, trading notes like secret whispers. It's intimacy, not spectacle. And yet, for all that subtlety, they're still fighters. Territorial, alert, ready to defend a fruiting tree like it's the last bottle at a party. They feed mostly on berries and insects, and when sunlight filters through the leaves, their feathers glow ruby red. Not bright, but deep, like coals burning underwater. So what do you think? The silver-beaked tanager, the gentleman of the jungle, or just nature's way of saying, less is more? Because sometimes beauty doesn't have to shout, it just smolders. The silver-beaked tanager, smooth, refined, and proof that even in the loudest forest on earth, the quiet ones still turn every head. If the silver-beaked tanager was all quiet luxury, the yellow-rumped cacique is pure organized chaos. This bird doesn't sing. It throws a party, jet black feathers, electric yellow rump, and a beak so sharp it looks like punctuation. This bird's design screams contrast, and so does its lifestyle. You'll find them in colonies of hundreds, their nests hanging like woven bottles from giant trees, each one swinging in the wind like a feathered apartment complex. The air buzzes with chatter, shrieks, and arguments. It's not peaceful, but it's alive. Here's a fun fact. Caciques build some of the most complex nests in the bird world. Each one can hang 3 feet long, woven from vines and palm fibers, light, strong, and perfectly designed to keep out snakes and monkeys. It's not architecture, it's defense with flair. Males compete to be the loudest, the boldest, the most dramatic performers in the colony. Their calls are wild, metallic, gurgling, somewhere between a robot malfunctioning and a jazz trumpet warming up. You'll hear it echo through the Guyana rainforest like nature's version of a street festival. And it's not random noise, it's communication. They announce danger, food, or gossip about which female just moved nests. Seriously, ornithologists have found that these birds remember specific voices. They literally recognize their neighbors by sound. It's social networking, but louder. And when the light hits the colony in the morning, those yellow flashes bounce through the green canopy like sparks flying off sunlight itself. So what do you think? A masterpiece of community living, or just the jungle's noisiest HOA meeting? Because in this neighborhood, silence is not an option. The yellow-rumped cacique, color, chaos, and community rolled into one. Proof that in the wild, being loud isn't rude, it's survival with rhythm. If the yellow-rumped cacique was the jungle's street party, then this next one is the choir that gives it a heartbeat. Meet the purple-throated fruitcrow, a bird that doesn't just sing, it commands the air. Big, glossy black body, a shimmering violet throat that catches light like stained glass, and a voice that rolls through the forest like thunder in slow motion. This bird doesn't chirp, it declares. You'll find them traveling in tight, noisy flocks, moving together through Guyana's rainforest canopy like a living orchestra. When one calls, the others respond. A layered wave of deep walk and honk notes that vibrate through the leaves. It's not random, it's rhythm. A sound so strong it feels ancient, like something the forest remembers. Here's a fun fact. The purple-throated fruitcrow has 4 vocal cords, twice as many as most birds. That's how it can produce that deep, echoing voice that sounds halfway between a drum and a growl. Evolution basically gave it a built-in subwoofer. And unlike most songbirds, these guys share everything. Food, space, even parenting duties. They raise chicks communally, taking turns bringing fruit to the nest like a feathered daycare system. It's chaotic, loud, and somehow works perfectly. When sunlight filters through the canopy, that purple throat flares up, a flash of royal color in a sea of green. You don't just see this bird, you feel it. It's sound made visible. So what do you think? The rainforest gospel choir, or just a bunch of rowdy bass singers who never learn to shut up? Because whether you call it music or madness, the jungle wouldn't sound alive without them. The purple-throated fruitcrow, loud, loyal, and larger than life. Proof that in the heart of Guyana, the real language of the forest isn't words, it's rhythm. If Jurassic Park had a comedy spin-off, this bird would be the star. Meet the Hoatzin, the prehistoric vegetarian with a stomach that smells like a compost bin and a face that looks permanently surprised to still exist. Seriously, this bird is a walking time capsule. It's the only living member of an ancient bird family that split from the rest 64 million years ago, around the time dinosaurs were still trending. You'll find it perched above Guyana's rivers and oxbow lakes, burping softly between bites of leaves. Because yes, it's one of the few birds that ferments its food, like a cow with wings. Inside that puffed up chest is a digestive system so bizarre, it actually produces methane. So if you ever smell swamp gas, don't blame the jungle, blame this bird. It's also known as the stink bird. Unfair nickname? Maybe. Accurate. Absolutely. But that's part of its charm. The Hoatzin doesn't care about elegance. It's too busy rewriting biology textbooks. Here's a fun fact. Hoatzin chicks are born with claws on their wings. When danger strikes, they literally jump into the water, swim underwater like tiny dinosaurs, then climb back up the branches using those claws. Yes, evolution hit the replay button for this one. And look at that face. Spiky orange crest, bright red eyes, blue skin around the beak like it's wearing tropical eyeliner. It's absurd and completely mesmerizing. But for all its oddities, the Hoatzin is peaceful. A slow, social leaf eater living in groups, preening, grunting, and gossiping by the river. They might look prehistoric, but they're surprisingly chill vegetarians. So what do you think? The weirdest bird alive, or just proof that evolution has a sense of humor? Because in a jungle full of beauty, the Hoatzin reminds us that weird can be wonderful too. The Hoatzin, smelly, ancient, and utterly original. Proof that survival isn't about perfection, it's about personality. After all that prehistoric chaos, it's time for something elegant. The kind of beauty that doesn't shout, it unfolds. Meet the Sunbittern, a river spirit wrapped in feathers and sunlight. It's not flashy at first glance. Soft browns, gentle grays, a long neck, and a walk so graceful it feels choreographed. But then, when it opens its wings, the forest gasps. Each wing flashes a pair of giant eye-shaped patterns in fiery gold, orange, and black. It's like watching the sun rise through a kaleidoscope. Those eyes aren't for decoration, they're armor. When threatened, the Sunbittern spreads its wings, instantly transforming from harmless bird to a glowing, staring illusion of power. Here's a fun fact. Those patterns are so distinct that scientists can actually tell individuals apart just by their wing markings. Like fingerprints made of fire, you'll find them along Guyana's rivers and waterfalls, stalking the shallows in perfect silence, waiting for insects or tiny fish. They move slow, impossibly slow, like time doesn't apply to them. Each step deliberate, each motion fluid, and when they take flight, they don't flap, they float. Their wings slice sunlight into ribbons, turning every flight into a quiet performance. The Sunbittern is part bird, part myth, ancient, solitary, and strangely calming. Even their call sounds distant, like a flute echoing through mist. So what do you think? The most underrated masterpiece in the jungle, or just nature's way of reminding us to slow down? Because not everything in the wild has to be violent or loud. Some of it just glows. The Sunbittern, subtle, sacred, and proof that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is unfold your wings and let the light in. If the Sunbittern was poetry, this next bird is pure action. Meet the Amazon kingfisher, the sharp-eyed assassin of Guyana's rivers. Bright emerald green feathers, white collar, rust orange chest. It looks like it's wearing a tuxedo made for underwater warfare. And when it moves, forget poetry. This is precision engineering. Perched motionless on a branch above the water, the kingfisher waits, still as a sniper. Then without warning, splash, it dives headfirst, slicing through the surface like a green bullet hitting glass. Seconds later, it bursts back up with a fish dangling from its beak. Clean, effortless, deadly. Here's a fun fact. The Amazon kingfisher has built-in goggles. Its eyes can adjust refraction underwater, so it compensates for light distortion. Basically, it sees fish exactly where they are, not where they look like they are. Try doing that next time you go fishing. Males and females share the same precision, but the ladies wear an extra rust-colored belt across their chest. A subtle flex that says, I hunt and I accessorize. They nest in riverbanks, digging tunnels up to 5 feet long into mud walls. That's right, 5 feet, just for a cozy bedroom and a few eggs. Talk about real estate goals. You'll often hear their sharp rattle before you see them. A rapid metallic laugh echoing down the river. It's not a call, it's a warning. I own this fishing spot. Back off. And honestly, it's fair. The Amazon kingfisher doesn't share well. It's a loner, a perfectionist, and the only bird that can make catching fish look like performance art. So what do you think? Guyana's best fisherman, or just a perfectionist who hates being outfished? Because one thing's certain, this bird never misses its mark. The Amazon kingfisher, focused, flawless, and proof that even in paradise, some artists prefer their canvas wet. And now, the jungle goes red, not just red, scarlet. Meet the scarlet ibis, the bird that looks like it flew straight out of a painter's fever dream. This isn't color, it's combustion. Every feather burns with crimson intensity, a living flame gliding across the water. You don't watch this bird. You stare because your brain needs a moment to process that something this vivid is real. They gather by the hundreds along Guyana's coastal lagoons and mangroves, turning the horizon into a moving sunset. From a distance, it looks like the sky itself decided to walk on stilts. Here's a fun fact. That incredible color doesn't come from genetics. It comes from diet. They eat crustaceans rich in carotenoids, and those pigments literally dye their feathers from the inside out. So yes, these birds are what they eat. Basically, shrimp turned into fashion. The scarlet ibis spends its days wading gracefully through shallow waters, probing the mud with its long, curved bill for crabs and snails. No rush, no panic, just elegance on autopilot. And when they take off together, their wings catch the sun like molten glass. A red so pure it makes every other bird look grayscale. They nest high in mangroves, forming massive colonies where hundreds of chicks scream in perfect chaos until the sky goes dark. It's noisy, messy, glorious. The kind of spectacle nature stages just because it can. But beneath the beauty lies strength. These birds migrate thousands of miles, following the tide, surviving storms, painting the world red wherever they land. So what do you think? The jungle's masterpiece, or nature's way of showing off? Because when the scarlet ibis steps into the light, subtlety packs up and leaves. The scarlet ibis, fiery, flawless, and utterly unforgettable. Proof that sometimes the wild doesn't whisper, it shouts in color. After the scarlet inferno fades, the jungle exhales, and what's left is elegance. Meet the greenback trogon, the quiet aristocrat of Guyana's forests. If birds had social classes, this one would live in an art gallery, drinking rainwater out of silver leaves. Deep green back, golden chest, and a tail lined in black and white like a tuxedo dipped in moonlight. Every inch of it whispers refinement. You'll find it perched motionless in the lower canopy, head tilted slightly as if it's posing for a portrait painted by sunlight. It doesn't flit or fuss, it waits. When an insect or fruit passes within range, it darts forward in one smooth motion, then returns to the same branch like nothing happened. Efficiency never looked this graceful. Here's a fun fact. The greenback trogon has a unique flight pattern. Short, silent bursts with almost no wing noise. It's so quiet, early explorers thought it could teleport between trees. Not bad for a bird that looks like it's wearing formal wear to breakfast. They pair up during breeding season, exchanging soft, cooing calls that sound more like conversation than song. It's intimate, calm, a love story told in whispers. And while their cousins, the quetzals, hog all the fame, the trogon doesn't seem to care. It's comfortable being the supporting character, the still frame between all the chaos. So what do you think? The hidden gem of the rainforest or the jungle's most patient perfectionist? Because in a world of noise and motion, this bird proves that poise can be power. The green-backed trogon, serene, deliberate, and proof that you don't need fire to shine. Sometimes all it takes is knowing exactly when not to move. If the greenback trogon was all elegance and stillness, this bird is pure rhythm and muscle. Meet the crimson-crested woodpecker, the percussionist of Guyana's green orchestra. Jet black wings, snow-white stripes down its neck, and that fiery red crest blazing like a torch in motion. It doesn't sing, it drums. And it doesn't ask permission, it owns the beat. You'll hear it before you see it. A deep, rolling, tat-tat-tat-tat, echoing through the jungle like someone's knocking on a wooden door to another world. That sound isn't just random noise, it's communication. Woodpeckers don't waste energy. Every beat says something. This is my tree. This is my mate. And yes, I'm louder than you. Here's a fun fact. Their beaks strike wood at 15 miles per hour over 12,000 times a day, and yet their brains stay perfectly intact thanks to built-in shock absorbers in their skulls. Basically, they invented helmet tech before humans did. They carved deep holes for nesting, perfectly circular, smooth, so symmetrical, it looks like power tools were involved. Couples take turns working on it. True jungle D years. And that crest, that iconic red crown, isn't just decoration. It's a signal. Dominance, energy, and flair. When sunlight hits it, it glows like a live ember bouncing through the forest. But beyond the noise, there's something hypnotic about watching one work. Focused, relentless, turning the simple act of hammering wood into a display of precision and passion. So what do you think? The hardest worker in the rainforest, or just nature's rock drummer with anger issues? Because either way, this bird brings rhythm to the jungle's silence. The crimson-crested woodpecker, tireless, blazing, and proof that sometimes the heart of the forest beats to a sound made of wood, willpower, and fire. Every good jungle story needs comic relief, and this one comes with feathers, brains, and an attitude. Meet the blue-headed parrot, Guyana's resident chatterbox and snack thief extraordinaire. Bright green body, sky blue head, red undertail. It looks like a parrot that couldn't decide on one color and just said, yes, all of them. It's not exotic royalty or stealthy hunter. It's your loud, nosy neighbor who somehow everyone still loves. You'll find them in flocks of 20, 30, sometimes more, zooming over the canopy while gossiping nonstop. They're rarely quiet, and when they are, they're probably chewing something they shouldn't. Here's a fun fact. These parrots have regional dialects. Populations from different valleys speak slightly different versions of their call. So yes, they literally have accents. Imagine moving across the river and realizing no one understands your jokes anymore. They're smart, curious, and unapologetically social. They'll steal fruit, mimic other birds, and occasionally prank monkeys by dropping seeds on their heads. It's chaos, but endearing chaos. And don't underestimate them. The blue-headed parrot can live up to 40 years, which means if you make one mad, it'll remember you for half a lifetime. That's not a bird, that's a flying grudge. They nest in tree cavities, often near other parrot species, turning certain forest patches into noisy apartment blocks. If you stand underneath at dawn, the sound is a mix of laughter, arguments, and actual conversation. But here's the thing. For all their mischief, they're loyal. Mates stay close for life, preening and feeding each other like an old married couple who argue but never part. So what do you think? The jungle's comedian or the neighborhood philosopher with wings? Because either way, this bird proves intelligence doesn't have to be quiet. The blue-headed parrot, colorful, clever, and just chaotic enough to keep the rainforest interesting. After the laughter of the parrots fades, the jungle quiets, and a new sound begins. Not loud, not grand, just beautiful. Meet the chestnut-bellied seed finch, a small, dark songbird with a voice that can stop the morning in its tracks. Glossy black above, rich chestnut below, it looks simple, but when it sings, the forest listens. This is the bird you'll hear before sunrise. A single clear whistle cutting through the mist like a string of hope. And in Guyana, that sound isn't just background noise. It's part of life. Here's a fun fact. Locals call it the toa-toa, and they prize its song so much that some people raise them like treasured musicians. There are even friendly singing competitions where trainers show off their birds' melodies. No money, no trophies, just pride in the purity of the voice. It's music culture, jungle edition. These finches feed mostly on seeds and small insects, hopping gracefully through grasslands and rice fields. They're humble, curious, and somehow always seem to be in the right place at the right time. Wherever people are, you'll find a toa nearby. They pair for life, often singing duets. Short, sweet, like two notes that were meant to find each other. And when a whole field echoes with those whistles, it doesn't sound wild anymore. It sounds homegrown. But behind that charm is strength. The seed finch thrives in open fields, deforested edges. The scars of change where many species disappear. It survives not because the world bends for it, but because it learns to bend with the world. So what do you think? The people's songbird, or just a humble survivor disguised as a poet? Because sometimes the smallest voice carries the most soul. The chestnut-bellied seed finch, gentle, grounded, and proof that even in the wildest places, music finds a way to play on. And as the forest quiets, the final act arrives. Small, glowing, and faster than thought itself. Meet the white-necked jacobin, the hummingbird that looks like a shard of sky come alive. Royal blue head, snow-white chest, emerald green back that shimmers like polished glass. It's the kind of beauty that doesn't seem real until it moves, and then it's everywhere at once. Hovering midair with wings beating 50 times a second, it hums a note so constant that the air itself seems to vibrate. This isn't flying, it's defying physics with flair. You'll find them sipping nectar from heliconias and passion flowers, their tiny bodies reflecting the morning light like stained glass in motion. They don't just visit flowers, they own them. Every patch of blooms is their kingdom, every droplet of nectar their royal tax. Here's a fun fact. The jacobin's name comes from 17th century monks who wore white hoods, a nod to that crisp white collar around its neck. A bird so divine it got named after holy men. Appropriate, really. And yet, for all that grace, this bird is no saint. It's territorial, feisty, and will chase intruders twice its size with the confidence of a creature that's never known doubt. Even eagles start somewhere, right? Watch it in slow motion, wings blurring to invisibility, droplets of sunlight scattering as it drinks midair. It's not just motion, it's meditation. Every beat is a heartbeat of the jungle itself. So what do you think? The angel of the forest, or just a caffeine addict with perfect hair? Because either way, you can't look away. The white-necked jacobin. Pure light, pure speed, pure freedom. Proof that in Guyana's endless green frontier, even the smallest wings can carry the entire sky. And there you have it. 20 of Guyana's wildest, brightest, and strangest wings. From the thunder of the Harpy Eagle to the whisper of the jacobin's hum, from scarlet fire to emerald calm. This isn't just a rainforest, it's a heartbeat made of color. Every bird here tells a piece of the same story, a story about survival, rhythm, and the unapologetic beauty of the untamed. The Cock-of-the-Rock painted the cliffs orange with pride. The Hoatzin dragged prehistory into the present, the manakin danced like no one was watching, and the Sunbittern showed us that silence can still shine. More than 800 species call Guyana home, a crossroads between the Caribbean, the Amazon, and pure imagination. It's not the biggest country, but it may just be one of the last places where nature still runs the show. Here's a fun fact to leave you thinking. Scientists believe Guyana's forests hold dozens of undiscovered species, birds that no one's named, filmed, or even seen yet. Imagine that. In 2025, the map's still not done, but maybe that's the point. Maybe wildness isn't something you find, it's something you protect. Because the moment the jungle stops singing, we stop remembering what freedom sounds like. So tell me, which bird spoke to you most? Was it the fire of the scarlet ibis, the calm gaze of the trogon, or that tiny hummingbird who dared to outshine the sun? Drop your favorite in the comments, and maybe tell us what colors fly through your skies. Because the green frontier isn't just a place, it's a reminder, a living proof that beauty, chaos, and peace can share the same branch and still call it home. This is Guyana, a country where wings don't just fly, they tell stories. The wild wings of Guyana, where power burns bright, color never fades, and the wild still has a voice.